Happy Monday, Steelers Nation. I hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day weekend. And to kick off this week of Steelers coverage, we're going to be telling you guys why I think the Steelers can afford to both trade and pay Matthew Stafford this offseason and why I think Stafford should be the number one quarterback target for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2025. The topics we'll be discussing on today's show. First, I'm going to tell you why I think Stafford is Pittsburgh's best case scenario at the quarterback position heading into next season. Then I'll tell you what I think it's going to cost to get Matthew Stafford on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster. And then we'll finish up today's show with me explaining why I think the Steelers can afford that price tag to bring Matthew Stafford to the Steel City. But before we get into the content today, later today, me and Jack Sperry will be going live on Steelers Talk Live at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We got a bunch of great Steelers content to cover. We'll have some super chat promotions as well. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already to never miss any of our off-season coverage right here on Steelers Talk. We get you guys a video a day at least, sometimes 2 videos a day, depending on the news cycle. So make sure you click that subscribe button for the most extensive Steelers off-season coverage you're going to find anywhere here on YouTube. So the first part of this video here is I'm going to tell you why I think Matthew Stafford is the best possible solution for the quarterback position for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into next season. And I got 4 reasons why I think this is the case. Number 1, Pittsburgh is trying to win now. Now, whether you agree with that strategy or not, the reason why they did keep Mike Tomlin, the reason why they kept this coaching staff mostly in place is because they do believe that this roster and this team as a whole is close to competing for Super Bowl championships, and they believe they're an offseason away from truly taking that next step and becoming a team that can truly win NFL playoff games and give themselves a true chance to hoist a 7th Lombardi trophy. And, I think that the way things are when it comes to the National Football League, guys, is that it is a quarterback-led league. Now, sure, the Philadelphia Eagles with a borderline top 10 quarterback in Jalen Hurts was able to win a Super Bowl this year because they had a complete roster, but it's very, very difficult to build a roster with literally 0 holes the way that the Philadelphia Eagles constructed their team in 2024. So quarterback play is the great equalizer in the National Football League, and this has been something that's missing from the Pittsburgh Steelers since prime Big Ben. It's been at least a half decade since the Steelers have had a bona fide top 10 quarterback on their team, which has really put a ceiling on what they could do offensively. And Matthew Stafford provides that for the Pittsburgh Steelers if you're able to get him. He is a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League right now, and that would be the first time the Steelers have had one of those in a very long time, which of course increases the ceiling of this team heading into next season. Here's my scouting report on Matthew Stafford, guys. I think he's a perfect scheme fit for what Arthur Smith wants to do because he still has some of the best arm talent in the National Football League. He can throw from any angle with his arm. He's famous for the no-look passes and all that stuff, and I think when it comes to throwing the ball over the middle of the field, which is what Arthur Smith wants to do here, I think that Matthew Stafford is as good of a fit for that style of offense as anybody in the National Football League. He runs that kind of system with Sean McVay there in Los Angeles, and he's one of the best in the world at processing information post-snap, getting through his progressions, all that different stuff. No, he's not very mobile. He will throw the ball over the middle of the field, and if he can get too aggressive, that leads to interceptions at times, but his interception numbers have actually gone down quite a bit since that 2021 season where he actually won the Super Bowl, but he did lead the league in interceptions. So you are going to get a couple more turnover-worthy plays with Matthew Stafford, but you're also going to get more high-end, big-time throws down the field, and he's also a perfect scheme fit for what Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, wants to do because he's so good at processing information over the middle of the field, because he does bring the good size to the table, because he does have the elite arm talent. I think that, when you're looking at what Arthur Smith wants to do offensively and the quarterback that he wants, I think, Matthew Stafford is like Ryan Tannehill on steroids, and we saw with Ryan Tannehill there in Tennessee, Arthur Smith was able to turn Ryan Tannehill into a top 10 producer at the position, even though I don't think he had as strong of an arm as Stafford does. I don't think he has as talented of an arm as Stafford does, and he certainly doesn't have the playoff and Super Bowl experience that Stafford had. He still put up 33 touchdowns to just 7 interceptions back during the 2020 season. So Tannehill was a success in this offense. The reason why he thrived in Arthur Smith's system is because of his ability to process information over the middle of the field and target that area of the football field. Matthew Stafford might be the best in the world at doing that, which is why he is a perfect scheme fit and perfect fit for the Steelers offense. Then the final thing that I think makes him the best possible solution at the quarterback position for this team in 2025 is that he's been here before. No, he hasn't been in Pittsburgh before, but he's been in this situation before where he gets traded to a new team and in his first season wins a Super Bowl. He did it in LA, of course, winning that Super Bowl with Sean McVay, Cooper Kupp, and that entire Rams team in his home stadium, by the way, there in Los Angeles. So he's been here. He's done that. He has taken these roads before, and he has taken that road to a Super Bowl championship. So if the Steelers' goal is to win a Super Bowl in 2025 with a new quarterback, Matthew Stafford is definitely the guy that's been there and done that, and he can maybe do it here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So fill in the blank for me down there in the comments section. Matthew Stafford is a top blank quarterback in the National Football League today. Where does Stafford rank among quarterbacks in the league right now? Personally, I think he's borderline top 6 in the National Football League today, but let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. Just a second here, YouTube's going to throw you an ad break. When they throw you that ad break, do me a favor, find that pinned comment at the top of the comment section, and let me know where Matthew Stafford ranks among NFL QBs. So coming up here on Steelers Talk, I'm going to be talking about Stafford's price tag and why I think the Steelers can afford that price price tag. But before I get into that, let's have a word from our sponsor today at Public Rec. All right, guys, let's be real for a minute. Nobody's got time for stiff, uncomfortable clothes anymore. It's February, it's cold outside, and you deserve to be comfortable in whatever you're wearing, no matter what you're doing. That's where Public Rec comes in. These pants are a game changer because their pants are designed to be as comfy as your favorite sweats, but way more stylish. We're talking super soft fabric, no stiff seams, and enough stretch to keep up with whatever your day throws at you. Public Rec isn't just about the pants, guys. They have so many great style options, whether you're working all day in the office, running errands, or just grabbing a drink with the guys. And I'll tell you right now, once you put them on, you're not going to want to put on a different pair of pants ever again. So this February, stop settling for the same old stuff with your pants. Step up your comfort game with Public Rec today. For a limited time only, our listeners can get 20% off your entire order with code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. That's 20% off when you use promo code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. And when it comes to their pants, guys, what really makes Public Rec a game changer for me is not only their comfort, but also their style options and their sizing options in particular, because I'm somebody that's very tall and skinny. You guys know this if you've been watching the show for a while, but with Public Rec, you can get the customized sizing options that they have on their website, which allows me and you as well to get the best possible fit on every single pair of pants that you buy from this company. Plus, they're the most comfortable pants you will ever wear. I wear them every single day here to the office here at Chat Sports. And also, it's more than just pants, guys. I got the shirt on today as well, which are fun, and those shirts are phenomenal as well. And you can wear them any time of the year. They keep you warm during the winter. They keep you cool during the summer. It's absolutely fantastic. So this February, treat yourself right because comfort is always in season. Upgrade to Public Rec and feel the difference today. For a limited time only, you guys can get 20% off at Public Rec by using code CHAT20 at checkout. Just head on over to publicrec.com and use code CHAT20. That's one word, all caps, CHAT20, and you're all set. Oh, and when they ask how you found them, be sure to mention our show. It really helps us out. Find your perfect fit and never compromise on comfort again. Public Rec, where comfort rules. Now let's get into the second part of today's video here where I'm going to be breaking down what I think the price tag is going to be for Matthew Stafford, because I think that there's two very distinct components to this discussion. The first one being the draft capital that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have to give up for Stafford's services. And then the second issue is that Stafford wants a new contract. And what is that contract going to look like? And how much of the effective cap space is that going to eat for the Pittsburgh Steelers if they make this deal? And I think CBS Sports was really, really smart this weekend, and they put out a projected trade idea that takes inspiration from the Aaron Rodgers trade when the Green Bay Packers traded him to the New York Jets a few seasons back. So it would kind of be looking like this template here. So the Steelers would be getting Matthew Stafford, and then there would be a first-round pick swap. So the Steelers would go from pick number 21 this year to pick number 26. The Rams move up 5 spots there to pick number 21. They also get the Steelers' second-round round pick this season at number 52, and the Steelers' second rounder in 2026. So this way, guys, I think that the Steelers wouldn't be giving up their first round draft pick. They'd just be moving down a little bit. And personally, guys, I think I'd rather part ways with second round draft picks than first round draft picks if I am the Steelers. But the big unknown when it comes to Stafford, guys, is what Stafford wants contract-wise, because we just don't know what he's asking for right now. Now, what we do know is that Stafford got $36 million in total earnings in cash last year from the Los Angeles Rams. So he was willing to accept a deal last season for $36 million. So it's a fair guess to say that he'd probably accept a deal somewhere around the $35 to $36 million per season range. Let's take the top end of that projection there. My best guess would be a 2-year, $72 million contract for Matthew Stafford. That would pay him $36 million per season, and then I would say that he's going to get about $50 million of that guaranteed, maybe slightly more, maybe slightly less. But I think that this is probably a pretty good guess as to what Matthew Stafford's cap hit and what the Steelers would have to pay him if they end up trading for him. So now let's talk about why I think the Pittsburgh Steelers can afford to pay that price tag, to do that trade idea that CBS Sports put out this weekend, and then give him a $72 million contract over the next 2 seasons. The first reason is because the Steelers would not be giving up their first round pick in 2025. They would be moving down a couple of spots, but you can still do a lot with that first round pick. If there's a player you really like in the first round, they can take him, but they can also trade down and get more draft picks from that number 26 selection if you want more draft picks to fill out the rest of your roster. And then also, I think that the Steelers will likely have the cap space to pay both Matthew Stafford and then still address the other needs on the team this offseason. I hear all the time on Steelers Twitter, if they trade for Matthew Stafford, they're not going to have any draft capital. They're not going to have any cap space available after they pay him the new contract. I just don't think that's the case here, guys, because when you look at the math here, I think when you cut Larry Ogunjobi, I think when you cut Cordero Patterson, I think when you restructure Alex Highsmith and Pat Freiermuth this offseason, all this money that you can get this offseason, guys, I think the Steelers can get up to $74 million in effective cap space to spend on veteran players via trade and via free agency when free agency opens up in about a month. And if you pay Matthew Stafford $36 million per season, that still leaves $38 million to spend on the rest of your roster. And you look at the needs that the Steelers have on their team this year, all of these, in my opinion, are addressable in free agency and in the draft, especially with $38 million. You can still get a very good veteran cornerback in free agency with that $38 million. You can also probably get a decent wide receiver, maybe Cooper Kupp, to pair with Matthew Stafford, make him more comfortable in this Steelers offense. And then this is generational classes at both the running back and defensive tackle positions in the NFL draft. You can probably get a really good running back and a really good defensive tackle, even on early day 3 this year. That's how good those classes are this season. So you get the quarterback figured out with Matthew Stafford. You still have the money to get a cornerback in free agency and a wide receiver, and then you still have the draft capital to get a running back that works for your offense, a defensive tackle to fill out the depth, and you could probably still even have another draft pick to spend on a young wide receiver. So when people say, the Steelers are more than just a quarterback away and Matthew Stafford isn't worth it, I agree the Steelers need more than just a quarterback, but I still think they can address their other needs this offseason by getting the best possible quarterback on the market for this football team. So in conclusion here, I think that, Stafford, assuming that he's not trying to get like $50 million next season, all right, I think the Steelers should 100% be trying to get him. If he's made available by the Los Angeles Rams, this is the quarterback that the Pittsburgh Steelers should be pursuing. I think he's a perfect fit. He's done what this team wants to do, and that's win a Super Bowl next season. And, I think that out of all the quarterbacks that the Steelers could end up pursuing this offseason, I don't think there's a better fit and a better overall player and a bigger leap from where the Steelers were at this position last year than Matthew Stafford. So let me know down there in the comments section, would you accept this trade and pay Matthew Stafford a contract worth $36 million per season after you make this trade? Type A for accept or type D for decline. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. For me, I would be spamming my A for accept. I think this would be a home run move for Omar Khan and the black and gold. Now, before I say goodbye here, I do want to acknowledge the unfortunate likelihood here that I do think Matthew Stafford will end up going back to the Los Angeles Rams. All right. I think that Sean McVay and that team, they were pretty close to still competing for a Super Bowl last year. They're still very young. They are rebuilding, but they got a lot of great young talent on there. Stafford is a perfect fit for that offense. And I think that there's going to be some jockeying this offseason. You know, Stafford certainly wants more guaranteed money on his contract. We'll see what if they're able to come to some sort of an agreement. It does sound like Stafford wants to return to LA, and it does sound like the Rams want Stafford to come back for at least one more season. But you never know what's going to happen in the NFL offseason here, guys. So make sure you click that subscribe button here at Steelers Talk, because if there's more developments on the Matthew Stafford front, we're going to have you guys covered with that every single time it happens. And if the Steelers make a trade for Stafford, we're going to be going live with extensive breaking news coverage here on Steelers Talk for you guys to enjoy. So make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later on Steelers Talk Live.